What about that? Kids 12 and older can get vaccinated. If they don't, that's on them and their parents. Why shouldn't middle and high schools be mask-free in the fall?
Well, it is conceivable that they might be, as a matter of fact, when you have a fully vaccinated. If the children get vaccinated, it is conceivable that that would actually wind up being a recommendation. We'll just have to wait and see.
Should schools tell students whose parents decide that they shouldn't get vaccinated, if you're not getting vaccinated, you'll do school from home, because we need an environment where kids can grow and learn and interact in a normal way?
Shepard, I'm not so sure that we're at that point yet. I mean, obviously, we're always continuing. The CDC is continuing to evaluate the situation. But I think to prevent children from going to school unless they're vaccinated, that could come about. But I'm not sure that we're ready for that right now. But all of those things are obviously under consideration at the local level. Certainly, certain school districts can do what they want to do. This is not a federally mandated thing. What I predict you likely will see is that school districts in different states and different cities will do things differently, because they have the overall authority to do that at the local level.
Yeah, and they know their people maybe better than all the rest of us. You know, Doctor, I'm sure you saw there were mask burning events today. These were put together by right-wing groups. We know masks protects people, but they got politicized. Do you have regrets on the messaging around masks during the pandemic?
Well, you know, it has been a sort of a mixed type of a message until we finally realized, I would say 1/3 of the way into 2020, that clearly masks work. We did not know until we had what's called meta-analysis data indicating that outside of the hospital setting, masks really do work to prevent the acquisition and transmission of infection. Once that became very clear, that's when the real push to wearing masks began. Right now, things get a bit complicated, because when people get fully vaccinated, as according to the CDC's latest recommendations, you can feel comfortable because of the high degree of effectiveness of the vaccines that you would be safe without a mask, whether you are outdoors or indoors. The complication arises is that we're not uniformly vaccinated, and there are some people who are not vaccinated. So the situation is there may be confusion about just throwing masks away. But if you're not vaccinated, you're still at risk of acquiring and transmitting infection, which is the reason why the CDC recommendations still hold for those who are not vaccinated, whereas they have changed rather dramatically for those who are vaccinated.
Yeah, and it's a great world over here in vaccinated land, I'll tell you that. You know, Doctor, Memorial Day is obviously coming up, our first mask-off holiday for the vaccinated. What worries you about this weekend, if anything?
Well, you know, whenever you have a situation where you have a lot of congregation of people, fortunately in Memorial Day, most of it is outdoors. And we know that outdoors, it's much, much less likely that there will be transmission and acquisition of infection. But nonetheless, when you have a festive time and people gather and congregate, there still is virus in the community. As you mentioned correctly, Shepard, that the numbers of infections have gone down dramatically over the last several weeks. But we still have a considerable amount of viral dynamics with about 30,000 new infections per day. So that's the concern that the CDC has, that when you have gatherings together, some will be indoors, some without masks, there's the possibility that you may see a blip. But the one thing we know for sure is that the more people get vaccinated, the overwhelmingly less likelihood there is that you're going to see a surge. So as you mentioned, we have more than 60% of the people now who are at least one dose, and we have almost half the people who are fully vaccinated. As we get closer and closer to an even more higher proportion of the population, the likelihood of there being surges gets less and less, which is the reason why we continue to push to get as many people vaccinated as we possibly can.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.